came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Welcome to Mixology and Mortgages. Today we're going to have some fun. I'm going to be making a cocktail, a signature cocktail today of Hatchman. And we're also going to be talking about the top questions you should be asking yourself when you're looking to refinance. I got this idea because I actually had, a relative recently reach out and said, hey, I've got a pretty good interest rate, but I am getting information everywhere that they're lower. Should I refinance? It's the question on everyone's mind. Should I refinance? And when should be the right time? So there are quite a few questions you really should be asking yourself when you're looking to refinance. Why would I want to refinance? That's the question you should ask yourself. But for the other reasons that you may not think, right? Specifically when looking to refinance, you got to ask yourself, am I doing it to save money, to lower the interest rate? And that's what most people think, right? Well, rates are low, so I need a lower rate. But why? Why do you need that lower rate? Well, that's what you want to look at, right? Because there's a lot of costs involved with it, and refinancing can be a little bit of a process, needing to get an appraisal in most cases. So, number one, do you want to save money? If you're looking to save money, are you looking to save it monthly? Are you looking to save it long term? Meaning, do you want to maybe instead of paying your loan off in 30 years, you want to pay it off in 15 or 20? So you want to pay it off faster. Cash flow, that's another one. Do you want a better monthly cash flow? So these are all things you want to ask yourself when thinking about refinancing, because it's not just about, should I get a lower rate? Because I guarantee you can call a handful of mortgage companies. There's going to be some loan officer out there that's not going to explain to you, and he will give you whatever interest rate you want and not explain what it's costing you. What are the long-term and short-term issues with that? I actually just had this happen, right? Another relative reached out. He was like, hey, this guy quoted me a 2.5% interest rate. Can you do that? I was like, well, let me take a look at the paperwork that he sent you. He had a really low interest rate, but he was charging him like $20,000 for it. So yeah, you can get a low rate if you're willing to spend that extra money, but is that going to be the right thing for you? How long do you plan to live in the home? Is it an investment property? Is it your primary? Think about those things, and really, why would you want to do it? And I can show you if it's worth your while. That's why we have a mortgage consultant like myself to show you all the available options and to see if refinancing is the right fit. So why do you want to refinance? Is it for cash out? Is it to pay off debt? Do you want to lower your monthly payments so that you can have more of a better cash flow monthly? Are there other debts that maybe we could use to pay off with the equity in your home to even further increase your cash flow? These are questions you want to ask the loan officer and yourself when you're looking to refinance. Because at the end of the day, we're asking about the interest rate because we care about the monthly payment. But you also want to look at the costs involved with what it's going to take to lower that monthly payment. Because if it costs you a lot of money and you only plan to be in the home for the next year or two, and your break-even point for the refinance on saving money compared to the cost of it takes 5 years, does it make sense to refinance even though you're getting a lower rate? Maybe, maybe not. So these are questions you want to ask yourself. Now, for the fun part, right? Let's make some cocktails. This is my bar. I have the Hatchman name. We've got Hatchman Bar, Hatchman Loans. So today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about the peanut butter and jelly cocktail. This is one of my signature cocktails that I came up with. Anytime a friend comes to my bar for the first time, this is typically the go-to cocktail. If you know anything about drinks, an Old Fashioned is one of the most popular ones out there. It's 3 ingredients: whiskey, it is sugar, and it is bitters. That's really all we're using today, except we're going to add one extra ingredient, which is the peanut butter whiskey. And we are going to start with what I recommend, a very high proof, good whiskey. This one is Old Granddad, 114. It's a little hot, but we're going to add some sweetness to it, so it's all going to work out nicely. We'll start with 2 ounces of this bad boy. 2 ounces of Old Granddad whiskey. Oh yeah. Followed by this Screwball peanut butter whiskey. There's a lot of different peanut butter whiskeys out there, so use whichever one you think is great. I'm going to be using 1 ounce of this stuff just so we can get a little bit of that peanut butter flavor. but not overpower it because it is very strong. If you are a flavored whiskey guy, this one straight up is pretty good. To me, it's too sweet. Now for the jelly. This is the Chambord, which is a black raspberry liqueur. Gonna give us that raspberry jelly flavor. We're gonna use a 1/2 ounce of this. Now the other thing when it comes to Old Fashioned, you'll notice I'm not using a shaker, but I'm using a stirring glass. You never wanna shake an Old Fashioned. That will dilute it too much. It gets too much of the ice broken up into it and it takes away from the overall flavor. For the bitters, we're just gonna use a couple dashes of the classic orange bitters. 3 dashes. All right, and of course we gotta get our ice. We're gonna add our ice in there. Oh yeah. Forgot the glass. Oh, and the ice cube. Do recommend using crystal clear ice cubes if you can. You want it, that is gonna be in a classic Old Fashioned glass there. Good stuff. All right, now we're going to mix this guy up. So you take your stirring spoon, you mix it around. That's gonna get all those flavors in there. Again, when you shake it, the ice breaks up and it dilutes that cocktail. Whereas if you wanna be able to taste the different flavors in your spirits, you wanna stir it. It's gonna get it cold, but not dilute it a ton. So we're gonna stir this bad boy up. There we go. And then of course, we're going to strain it into the Old Fashioned glass. Just like that. And there you have it, folks. The peanut butter and jelly Old Fashioned. It is a good one. I highly recommend it. And be sure to check out the other mortgage tips we got coming. We're gonna start doing this all the time. It's gonna be mortgages and mixology. So I hope you enjoyed this. If there's any other mortgage questions you'd like or another cocktail you'd like to see, give me the ingredient of the cocktail you'd like with the main alcohol, as well as what other questions you may have regarding mortgages, and I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, it's been fun. This has been the Mixology and Mortgages with Hatchman. You guys have a great day.